I am on my way out to Salt Fork, which is our local state park, about 2 miles away from the main entrance. Is about 2 miles away from my driveway. Of course, then once I get into the park, I think I drive approximately 13 miles to get to the area that I like to hike, because it loops down quite a few times onto the lake, and I like that. I like to see the water if I can. So I just thought I would take you guys along for a small little local hike. Didn't bring anything to eat. I'm not going to be out there, but maybe 2 hours at the most. The trail I'm going to do is a 2.5 mile loop, I think. So 2 hours is plenty of time. And so I ate right before I left, and I brought plenty of water. So that's going to be good for the day. And I brought my cell phone, and the trail I hike has service. So if I end up having an issue or needing help, I can call for help. But seeing as I'm going to be by myself today, I don't go too far from home when I'm doing a solitary hike. But anyway, I will get back to you when I get out there. Talk to you shortly. Blessings. Now this is the start of the trailhead. It's the Stonehouse Nature Trail. Now when you get back to the end of the trail, there is an old farmhouse that made it through all the flooding and reconstruction once they put the lake in. And this farmhouse didn't get flooded out, so they turned it into a little museum. Well, let's get at it. Right at the start of the trail, we start off with some steps down. It is 81 degrees today, but once I stepped into this shade, it is a perfect temperature. Not too bad at all. I picked a wonderful day to do this. I wish you guys could smell it. I love the way the woods smell, especially in my own area. A few hikes we've been on with my sister. She hates the way some areas smell. It's all decay. When you're in the woods, it's all decay, and you either like it or you don't. To me, it didn't matter where we were at. It all smelled good. But she hated it most of the time. She loved the hikes. She just hated the smell. Alrighty, well, I will get back to you when we get closer to the lake, so there's something for y'all to see. Oh, guys, you don't know how much this means to me to get my health back enough that I am able to get back on these trails again. I have missed it so much. This used to be such a big part of my life when I was younger. Big part. Every weekend. Every single weekend, I'd either go on a day hike or an overnight, but at least a day hike somewhere, constantly. Just overwhelmed with emotion right now, especially being out here by myself, where I'm just in my own thoughts. But anyway, alrighty, talk to you shortly. I can see the lake through the trees. I don't know if y'all can see it or not, but we are getting close. Should be busting out of these trees any minute now. There it is. There we go. There's a road right over there. I knew I could hear it. Oh, isn't it just beautiful? There's our trail. Alrighty. Oh, I love where I live. I love it. Well, I hope you all are enjoying this hike as much as I am, but let's get back up on that trail and get going. Talk to you in a bit. My camera seems quite a bit blurry. I'm wondering if oh yeah, there you go. Bet y'all can see a lot better now, can't you? I had a fingerprint on the lens. One of these days I might invest in a GoPro or some type of action camera that I can strap to my head and not have to carry y'all along everywhere I go. Last time I was out here, my nephews was just little, and it took us hours to get out to this house because I could not keep them motivated to keep walking. They wanted to play on the rocks and play in the trees and play in the water, and but I miss them being little. I mean, we still get to share stuff, but not to the same degree that we used to. They have definitely moved on to friends. Don't want to hang out with their Aunt Sandy no more. See how I just keep curving around back to the lake, back to the lake. Oop, almost tripped on a stump. My sister would say, that's what you get for trying to record and walk at the same time. And she would be right. Look at all the rocks. Oh, what a perfect day for this. Alrighty, I'm going to put this away so I can do a little bit of
hands-free walking as we get into this rockier area. And I'll get back I will get back with you guys when we get to the stone house. That is the rock that the boys would love to play on. Whenever we'd hike out here, we could sit here for hours while they ran around that thing and played on it. And as you can tell, they're not the only ones. You can tell by the way the moss is rubbed off that every kid that comes out this way plays on that rock or jumps in that lake. I see the stone marker, so I know I'm getting close to the end of the trail. I remember that from the last time I was here. It's been so many years ago, guys, that a lot of this stuff felt like a whole new trail to me. I know it's changed from what it used to be because there was a lot more swoops. See, I knew I was getting close. The dock, let's walk out on it. There was a lot more swoops down to the lake this time than what there used to be. And it went across the edge a lot more than it used to. Oh, I thought we'd be able to see it from out here. It's right up beyond those trees. Used to, when I come up on this dock, years ago, you could see the house from here, but it's grown up since then. I have a pontoon and used to bring it out here and dock it all the time and have picnic lunch when my sister was alive. And then I could leave the boat parked here and I could go hike in the opposite direction. So I'd hike back to the parking lot and then come back to the boat. And she could sit there and read her books and do whatever she wanted to. And I didn't always put her on my back. Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. It just depended on the day and her mood. Look at the pretty flowers. Alrighty, let's show you this old farmhouse. It's beautiful. Back in the day, this house would have been, I mean, it's beautiful now, but I'm sure this farm back then was just absolutely gorgeous. Could you imagine living here? Having that view every day? Getting out? Having a cup of coffee? I could live that life. Yes, I could. Without a doubt. Well, there's a new picnic area. That was not here the last time I was here. Alrighty. Let's head over there and get something to drink. There's a little plaque to the home. people who donate to the upkeep of it get a brick with their name on it. Ooh, wasp. There's so much reflection, I don't know how much you guys are able to see. The people that had this used to be sheep farmers, so that's the sheep representation, the sheep pasture up there. Nice. Nice, nice. Now this was the cellar. My phone does so poorly in low light. Sorry about the graininess, guys. One of these days, I'm going to get me a good camera. I have Heather from Wanna Be Better helping me out, giving me advice in the camera department. So, I'll get there. Alrighty, let's have a seat and we'll talk. Why drink? By the way, that's drink water, not alcohol. After I turned off the camera, I'm like, that sounded bad. Let me readjust a little bit. Sorry about the finger over the lens. But I wanted to show you my pack. Years ago, when Brenda started decline in health, and it put a curb to my hiking because she was just sick most of the time, and I just couldn't get her out. And of course, I'm not going to go anywhere without her. Back then, if I wasn't at work, I was with her. So I started getting into bushcraft because it's not such much as a hiking element to it. It was just getting out in the woods and honing your skills, shelter building and fire building and just playing in the woods. And we had 5 acres, so we had 3 of our acreage was in the woods. So we could go in there and play, and I could take her back in her wheelchair, and we were close to the house if she needed medical attention and I needed to do something in that area for her. So we played in the woods a lot. Well, I joined a lot of bushcraft forums and that kind of stuff just to stay connected to people. And I entered a challenge. And the challenge was, because gear is expensive. This pack, it's the Centerline Systems. I don't think you guys can see it. The Centerline Systems. This pack plus all the stuff that I have in it come over $300. The pack itself was over $100. I can't remember exactly how much because I did not pay for this. So I seen this pack and I really wanted it bad. And there was a challenge because the pack's expensive. So the challenge was whoever could spend an overnight in the woods on the cheapest you could do it. And you had to hike in 24 hours, have dinner, an overnight, and breakfast the next morning. So you had to make 2 fires. You had to have a sleep system and a tent, even if it was just a tarp. So you had to cover your 5 C's. So you had to have cordage, a cutting tool, combustion, container, and coverage, including 2 meals and spend the overnight. Whoever did it the cheapest won the Centerline System. I wanted it so bad. So I think we had over a week to prepare. I know we did. No matter of fact, I think from the challenge, because we had over a month. We had over a month to prepare for it. And you could get any scrap. So if you found something in the trash, you could take it out, anything like that to do this challenge. So I found in the trash at work a pair of busted scissors. So that was my cutting tool. I was able to use it as a knife. And I took on a whetstone and I sharpened that scissor blade to razor sharp, where I was able to slice a tomato with it. That's how sharp I got those babies. And then for my container, just an empty soup can. Just cleaned out an empty can, vegetable can. Then for my cordage, oh, I remember, I was thinking, where did I find cordage? It was out here at Salt Fork on a hike. I found fishing twine that I just rolled it back up in a ball and used it as my cordage. Then I got, you know how Harbor Freight, you go in and you buy something and you get something for free? So for my freebie, I took a tarp, and which I wasn't sure about that one. So I called the person who was doing the challenge to see if that would count as free, seeing as I purchased something else and got the tarp. And he's like, yep, if you didn't pay a dime for the tarp, it was free. So my tarp was free. And then my sleep system, I took bags. And I had bags of bags in the basement. We all do that. Walmart bags and grocery store bags, those plastic bags. And I took and cut them up and made cordage out of them and crocheted a sleep mat. And then for the blanket, I had all these free t-shirts. Every time you volunteer for something, you get a free t-shirt. So I had dozens of them. So again, I just wasn't sure about that. Even though I got the t-shirts for free, I wasn't sure what he would think about me using those as my coverage, my blankets, my sleep system. So I called and he said, as long as you didn't pay for them, that's fine. So I took those t-shirts and I cut them up and I made myself a quilt. And I was at the laundromat and somebody had left a set of sheets. So I asked the lady, I'm like, these sheets have been sitting here for 2 days. And she said that they kept them for a week. And if nobody came out back for them, then they pitched them. But they kept them in a lost and found for a week. So at the end of that week, I went back. And she had them all folded up nice and neat for me. And she's like, yep. She goes, I knew you would be back for these sheets. So then I took that quilt that I had made and I backed it with a sheet. And then I had a bottom sheet to cover that plastic mat with, so I didn't sweat so bad. So my sleep system was awesome. And then I took the pillowcase and made a bag to put everything in. And then for fire, I took an old candy tin, ripped up cardboard and spiraled it around in there, melted some old crayons, and then the cardboard was your wick. And I created a fire source. And then off of a grill that I had found at the dump, I went to the dump to look around and see what I could find. I got an old grill grate, the round that for the propane grills where you have the little propane burner. So I put my candle thing under that, and that was my cook system. I was able to put my can on there, and then out of my own garden, I picked tomatoes. And then I went to Aldi's, and a pound of rice was like $2.79. So you divided that into servings. So one serving ended up costing 5 cents for a serving of rice. That was the only thing I purchased for this challenge, was rice at 5 cents. Everything else I got for free. I covered all of my bases in that challenge for free. So I came in at 5 cents. And then you had to record yourself out on your overnight, cooking your dinner and spending the night and then getting up the next morning and cooking your breakfast. So for dinner, I had the rice with sliced tomatoes. And then at different restaurants, you know how you get packets
like in the condiment section, you can get packets, where there was this honey mustard dressing. And I can't Long John Silver's is where it was at. Long John Silver's has this honey mustard. So I squirted that over top of the rice and the tomatoes and made this glaze. It was unbelievably good. So filling. So that's what I had for supper. And then when I was getting my car repaired at the car lot, they had this coffee bar type thing that while you're waiting to get your car fixed, you could get whatever you wanted off of it for free. So I recorded the whole bar to show what all they had, and a little sign that said, feel free to take what you want. Well, they had packets of hot chocolate, packets of tea, individual little tea bags of coffee, creamers and sugars, and oatmeal, little packets of oatmeal. So I guess when people come in early mornings to get their car fixed, they could have an oatmeal and a coffee. But I was like, what the heck? So I took 2 packets of oatmeal, a thing of coffee, some tea, and a couple packs of hot chocolate. And of course recorded all that so they could see that I was getting it for free. So that covered my breakfast with the oatmeal and the coffee. And then that night for snack, I had had a hot chocolate, and sometime in that 24 hours, I had had the tea. So when it came to the meals, I went over and beyond what was required in the challenge. So one person come in close to me, and he had come in at 8 cents. So I won this system for free. And of course, the gear and everything I have in here, I purchased. But the system itself with the clean canteen, there is a cook pot in the bottom, there is the lid for it, there's silverware in here. So this whole system came to $200, and then I've got about $100 worth of gear in it. But if you just bought the Centerline system, this pack itself is over $100. So unbelievable. I cannot believe that, yeah, I got all this for free for winning a challenge. And I was just so happy. 5 cents. Yay me. Anyway, here I sit down to get a drink of water, and I haven't even done that yet. But, yeah, don't ever go on a hike without water. I don't care how short it is. But I just wanted to sit down for a minute and talk to y'all. I know some of you are my followers from my Sandy's Losing It, but a lot of you hopefully will be new and need to get to know me a little bit more. So I'm going to get off here, finish some more water, and get home. I will talk to y'all shortly. Up, there's the road again. Almost back to the car now. Just beautiful. Just beautiful.
that rocky spot. I can hear the road. We're coming to the end of it. Oh, it was definitely, without a doubt, worth the drive out here. Just beautiful. Here I am. Don't you just hate when a good hike is coming to an end? Yes. I cannot wait until I get myself conditioned good enough that I'll be hiking in with a pack on my back, a hammock and a tarp, and spending the night in a beautiful setting. Definitely by fall I'll be ready. Ha! Steps. I hate steps. But we'll make it up them, huh? Used to. Just those little bitty steps there. The last time I did this hike, I couldn't make it up all the way without stopping. Isn't that pathetic? Oh. And to be honest, I think I might actually weigh more than I did the last time. But it just shows conditioning, the difference. Alrighty, y'all. It's been a beautiful trip, and I will talk to you guys on the next one. Bye.